So for as crazy as 2020 has been so far, there's still a lot of good fragrances that have come out so far this year. And I've got quite a bit of them. So here I'm going to discuss with my favorites that I've picked up so far this year. Now obviously I haven't picked up every fragrance that's come out in 2020, and there's still more to come, and I'm sure I'll get my share of those as well. But here are my 10 favorites out of the, I don't know, about 18 or 19 releases from the year that I've picked up so far. Stay tuned. So with this first one, it should not be a surprise to anyone because I seldomly pay retail for anything. I gotta really want it to pay retail. I paid retail for this fragrance. Viktor & Rolf Spicebomb Night Vision Eau de Parfum. Yes. This is one of my favorites, obviously, because it's in this video from this year. This is such a good fragrance. If you weren't a big fan of the original, the Eau de Toilette that came out in 2019, you need to sample this one. This might be the one. There's tester bottles out there to get now. You know, it's always better to wait sometimes when you know something's going to get discounted, but I wanted it so badly. I purchased it with a little shower gel, and I smell it floating in there. It smells so good. A little shower gel and a little, you know, overnight bag that it came with for the full MSRP of $120 US. And I don't regret a single dollar of it because this is a fantastic fragrance. I am super glad to have it. I knew I was going to like it because I actually like the Eau de Toilette. I know a lot of people don't. Some people do. I like the Eau de Toilette. I wore the Eau de Toilette not that long ago. I've worn it a few times this year, which a few times in a year is a lot for me because I just have so much to wear. And this is just a fabulous release from Viktor & Rolf for the line, in my personal opinion, and one that I believe more people need to try. Arguably my favorite release of the year, but it's definitely one of, for sure, and that's Spicebomb Night Vision, the Eau de Parfum. Next, this is another one that shouldn't really come as a surprise to anyone if you've been following the channel for a little while. This came out earlier in the year. I did get it around the time it came out, did a first impressions video, did a full review on it. I wore it to my son's high school graduation. I mean, it's just, I like it. If you like blue, you'll like this. It's from Ralph Lauren. It's Polo Deep Blue Parfum. Smells like Polo Blue mixed with Dior Sauvage. Just smells good. Man. Compliment factor is high. Performance is average to above average. It leans towards the above average portion for me. I know some have reported average performance. Some get pretty good performance. It's one of those things where you just got to try it for yourself. See how your skin's going to react to it. But compliment factor is high on this one, guys. If you like blue fragrances, mass appealing ambroxan fragrances, which I do, it's a good one. It really is. I think it was a good release for the line. You know, I've yet to smell a Polo Blue that I didn't like. In my opinion, it's just a good line from the original Eau de Toilette all the way to the 2020 release of Polo Deep Blue Parfum. Definitely one of my favorite releases of 2020. So I understand all the hype and the hoopla for this one because I did recently get it. I did wear it a few days ago. It will be in this next upcoming weekly rotation video, so you can really get my thoughts. I'll give you a little brief idea how I feel about it right now, but it's Giorgio Armani Acqua di Gio Profondo. The color is fitting because this really is, if this was a brand new fragrance and the Acqua di Gio line didn't exist before this fragrance, this is a modern version of it. This is a blue version of it. Not that it wasn't a blue kind of fragrance already, with Absolute being a blue fragrance, and, you know, Profumo, I wouldn't call that a blue fragrance, but it's got some appeal, some mass appeal to it for sure. This is the bluest version of the DNA. And for those of you that are wondering why I keep saying blue, so the term blue in the fragrance world is, it kind of gets a generic tag in essence because it'll smell like so many other things, but the main thing it's known for is versatility, having some form of ambroxan in it, whether it be synthetic ambergris, amberwood, or aquazone as what's in here. You know, that's, I'm sure, just a fancy way of saying ambroxan or something similar, but it smells very, very good. It performs extremely well, better than I thought it would. Definitely one of the better releases of 2020. I'm sure not too many people will argue with me on that one. Definitely one of my favorites so far this year. Very happy to have it. That's Acqua di Gio Profondo. Now this one, upon first impression, didn't wow me. It really didn't. Then I wore it a couple of times, and I grew to love it more and more and more as the hours progressed, as the wearings progressed. The compliment factor was surprisingly high on this one. The performance is very good. It's deep and rich. It's got a strong ginger to it, which I love a good ginger note. It's another release from Polo for this year, but this time from the red line. Polo Red, Eau de Parfum. So, I know not everybody was a fan of this release, but if you spend some time with it, you might end up really liking it too, because that's what it was for me. This was not love at first sniff. It took a little time. It took a few wearings. I've worn it 3 times now. I've tested it twice on top of that, just spraying it on my arm just to sniff on it for a few hours. It's a good fragrance. It grew on me quickly. And once I got a few compliments, that just makes it even better. It really does. When those around you give you positive feedback, it's usually a good sign that it smells good to others aside from just you. You know, it's a validating type of thing. It's like, okay, yeah, I thought it smelled good. It's nice to know that you think it smells good too, honey. Talking to your significant other, for example. This one definitely a favorite of my wife's, for sure. So it doesn't hurt when your significant other really likes something you just spent money on. And it grew on me, really did. I'm still not in love with it, but it is definitely one of my favorite releases from the year. And fantastic for the upcoming season. This screams fall. Probably better than Polo Red Intense does. Polo Red Intense, in my opinion, may be moved to the winter rotation for me now. And this will be in the spring and fall rotation. And that's Polo Red, the EDP. Now, you haven't even seen this one on the channel yet. I've only shown that I got it on Instagram so far. But this is, at the recording of this video, my scent of the day. Actually not at the recording of it, as you're seeing it, it's my scent of the day. It's very deep, it's very rich, it's very boozy. It's got some herbaceous quality to it. It's got an underlying green spice. Man, it's just rich and beautiful. It's from Cartier, my first Cartier fragrance. Yes, for as many as I have, it's my first. Pasha de Cartier Parfum. Justin Copeland made me buy this. You blame this purchase on Justin Copeland. Justin, if you're watching this, this is your fault. To see his reaction to this fragrance, it intrigued me. Because I've never smelled any of the Cartiers. I mean, some of the fresher ones, Declaration and stuff like that, co-workers that swear by the original Pasha de Cartier, the Eau de Toilette. And I was just always kind of, it doesn't strike me as something I have to have. Well, when I saw Justin talk about this for the first time, it intrigued me. The second time, I said I had to get a bottle. Came across a really good price on a sealed bottle from one of the I think it was from Perfume Empire on eBay. Had to get it. I'll tell you what, it's all that in a bag of chips. It's really good. It's fantastic for the cooler months. Can't wait to give it even more wear. I've tested it twice. And like I said, I'm not wearing it right now, but while you're watching this video, well, the day it releases anyway. It's actually my scent of the day at work. And I can assure you I'm loving the way I smell because I love the way this smells. This is one of the best releases of 2020 in my opinion. And that's Pasha de Cartier, the Parfum. Now next, this kind of has been pushed to the side recently. I did wear it a few times early on when I first got it. I did a full review with my buddy Sam Broom, #stepbrothers. Put that video right there if you want to check it out. One of my favorite blue fragrance releases of the year that actually has a lot of green qualities to it. It's from Ferragamo. It's called Ferragamo. This stuff's fantastic. It hit discounters early. You can get bottles in the $30 range. It's such a good fragrance if you like violet leaf. Very, very good violet leaf fragrance. It's fresh without being too fresh. It's green and herbal without being too rich and green and herbal, without having any real spice to it other than just some fresh spice. It's good. It performs too. It performs very well on my skin. 8+ hours, 2 hours of strong projection, moderate to mild beyond that for about another 2 hours. Get wafts throughout the rest of the day. Ferragamo. This is some really, really good stuff. It keeps popping up, selling out, popping up, selling out, but that's okay. Get your hands on a bottle because it's absolutely worth owning and one of my favorite releases of 2020. Next, this is another one that genuinely surprised me. I was very excited upon release. It's another blue fragrance. Like I told you, I love a good blue fragrance, and this year has been packed full of good ones. It really has. I wore this very recently, last week actually, and it outperformed what I thought it would because the line's known to not really have strong performers. From Yves Saint Laurent, L'Homme, Le Parfum. Strong geranium note. Be warned, if you don't like geranium, you won't like this. But if you like L'Homme, and you want it a little more modernized, richened up, have a little depth, and really give it a little bit better longevity. Good projection up front, but the longevity is what really surprised me because it went into that 8-hour range on my skin. This is so good. So good. Some will find it to be generic because not everybody's a fan of having multiple blue style fragrances, mass appealing fragrances. But, you know, in the work setting I'm in for the last several years, stuff like this is like having gold. It really is. It appeals to a lot of people. It's not going to offend anyone. It'll get you through your work day. It goes well with golf shirts, polo shirts, Oxfords, or even if you want to bust out a suit. And it works well in every single season. Stuff like this is great for work. And this is a fantastic work fragrance. Ergo, of course, it was going to be one of my favorite pickups for what's come out so far in 2020. And that's why I sell L'Homme, Le Parfum. Next, this is actually the only niche fragrance in this video, and one that I need to pull out again. Haven't been wearing it lately, and I love the way don't get me wrong, it's right here on my desk. I smell it all the time. Such a good fragrance from Juliet Has a Gun. Lipstick Fever. Definitely one of my favorite releases of the year. This stuff is fantastic. Look at that beautiful atomizer. High quality iris and violet. High quality raspberry, strong cedar in the dry down with some patchouli. Man. This is such a good fragrance. It just is. It's marketed for the ladies, but for those of you that like a good iris fragrance, try this one. Get a sample, something. Check it out for yourself. Is it a beast mode performer? No. Sweet spot, 6-hour range, you know. Solid 6 to 7 hours, for me anyways. Moderate to mild projection, not real heavy. Definitely a for you scent, but it's a great for you scent. This stuff smells fantastic. Absolutely does the trick. I'm so happy to have a bottle of Lipstick Fever from Juliet Has a Gun. It was my first fragrance from Juliet Has a Gun. I have vanilla vibes now as well, but this is the one that takes the cake for me. And definitely one of my favorite releases of 2020. This one's kind of up there with Spicebomb Night Vision EDP as arguably my favorite pickup of the year so far. Lipstick Fever. Check it out. Next, this is a recent acquisition, and yeah, I know there's clones you can get. I understand that. I have a bunch of them, but I like this better than the clones. I really like Mancera Instant Crush. It's more floral than this. I really like Parfums de Marly Cologne. It's spicier than this. But Christian Siriano Oula Rouge, this smells eerily similar to Baccarat Rouge 540. I mean, this is really close. The quality's there too. God, it smells so good. I love the way this fragrance smells. This is going to be getting another wear this week as well. Expect to see this in the rotation video. Probably going to wear this tomorrow. It performs really well on my skin. It projects really well on my skin, and I love the scent on this. This is no shameless plug. I just love the way this thing smells. Interesting bottle, marketed for the ladies, just like Lipstick Fever, but I don't care. It's Baccarat Rouge 540. It's that simple. One of the better releases of 2020, in my opinion, from a designer side for sure. It's Baccarat Rouge on a budget. Christian Siriano. Oula Rouge. And last but most certainly not least, this is going to be an arguable pick for some, because some didn't care for this one when it came out. It came out late spring, if I remember correctly. Definitely during the height of the pandemic when we were all stuck at home. And it hit discounters pretty quickly, and that's where I got it. I actually paid 30 bucks. It's a new release. I got a 125 milliliter bottle for 30 bucks from Raw Stress for Less. Some of you may know where I'm going with this. Dolce & Gabbana, light blue. Love is love. Yeah, I think it was an interesting take on the light blue DNA, and I say kudos for Dolce & Gabbana. I think it's a good release. Actually, I think it's a great release. I love the way it smells. The apple gelato in this just adds a twist. It doesn't warm it up as much as you may think it would. It just smells great. Compliment factor is pretty high on it. I love the way it smells on me. It performs decent. I paid 30 bucks for it. It's hard to argue with it. And in my opinion, definitely one of the best releases from 2020. Put this one in the win column for me. 30 bucks. Love the way it smells and performs. Dolce & Gabbana, light blue. Love is love. Well, that was all of them, guys. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. How many of these have you grabbed already this year? How many of you have been wanting to try? Definitely sample them. These are my favorites so far. Like I said, there's like, I want to say 8 or 9 more fragrances that came out this year that I do have. Maybe 1 or 2 more than that. I didn't really count them. I just grabbed what I know my favorites are that came out this year that I have so far. Like I said, there's a bunch that I didn't grab yet. There's some that are on the way. There's some that are just a pass for me. And there's some upcoming ones that I'm pretty excited about. Looking at you, Boss Bottled Eau de Parfum. I'll be getting you real soon. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of these fragrances and you give them a spray now, I'm pretty confident you'll thank me later. Because in my opinion, some of the best releases of 2020. Have a good one, guys.